tax the churches. But that's a very long-term plan. I have a short-term solution as well as a story of how not taxing churches actually hurts many, many people at a time of deep, deep crisis. It's an ethical problem that you can actually fix. When you lose your job, you can go to the unemployment office and file for unemployment, right? Yes, you can. The reason you can do that and receive some safety net funds is because of something called the Federal Unemployment Tax Act. Basically, your employer had to pay money into this fund that is used to give money to people when they are in the time of sort of deepest need. But guess who doesn't have to pay that? Churches. That's right. When you piss off the wrong church member and you get fired not because you weren't doing a good job, but just because you said the wrong thing to their kid one time, you go to the unemployment office, you file for unemployment, and they say, I'm sorry, you are not eligible. You're not eligible because your organization did not pay into the Federal Unemployment Tax Act because they were exempt from the Federal Unemployment Tax Act because they are a church. So yeah, you agreed to take a whole lot less money because it's a religious organization and you believed in it and you thought that Jesus was going to reward you in other ways, or maybe it was some sort of prosperity gospel mumbo jumbo that said you were going to get it tenfold back somehow in heaven or whatever. And then you get fired, your job gets cut, whatever, and you go to need that safety net because you didn't have enough money to save up extra months of income, because you weren't the senior pastor that was getting paid crazy amounts of money, being taken on all kinds of expensive trips and given cars and stuff. You were just the random employee and you get nothing. You get nothing because the church was exempt from that tax. And here's the really insidious thing, and actually also the way that you can deal with this issue without having to pass legislation in the short term. Churches can voluntarily participate in the unemployment program. They can voluntarily participate. They can put their money in. If they actually care about hurting people, if they actually care about their employees, if they actually care about what happens when somebody loses their job, they can voluntarily pay into that system. They don't, but they can. And so here's what you can do. You can go to the very next church meeting at whatever church it is that you want to force to pay into the unemployment system. Maybe it's your church, or maybe it's some church that hurt your family. I don't know. But you go to their next meeting and you make the proposal. You say, we are doing something that is unethical and unjust. People don't know that when they lose their job here, that they're not going to be able to collect unemployment. They don't know any of that stuff. And we keep employing people and then firing people, and then they're turned out on their ear without any safety net. So we need to voluntarily pay into the unemployment tax system and see what they do. And if not, post a video on TikTok about it. Tell the world that they're being cheapskates while their pastor is making a whole ton of money, and all of these lower employees that might lose their jobs will get nothing out of unemployment. There it is. Tax the churches, for sure. But until we can get that to happen, ask your church to pay into the unemployment tax system voluntarily.